do you love dragons? Well, me too, especially dragon tales when I was a kid. And so I want to tell you about this incredibly powerful healing activation that I just did with a group in their Akashic records. And the intention of this healing was to help awaken Kundalini energy within, which dragons are a representator of. To remember if they have different timelines where they were a dragon or worked with the dragons, if they have dragon guardians on their spirit team, and also to help them connect to the dragon realms and open up their channels if they want to be a dragon healer or amplify their gifts and talents that they have now. Also to deepen their understandings of the celestial and elemental energies. And I'm sharing in case you want to be a part of the next healing activation event, which is going to be this Saturday, the 16th. This is not something that you need to be present for, okay? We are not meeting face to face. I am sending all of these energies in your Akashic records etherically, okay? And then afterwards I create a video like I'm about to share with you so you can come along on the journey and have a tangible adventure to experience. And to register for the next Dragon Codes activation event, you can check the comments or the description box below. Hey babe, what an amazingly fun journey that I'm so excited to tell you about with our dragon activations and our DNA upgrades, our remembrances. And so when I tapped into the group's energy field, we met inside of Inner Earth, and I'm gonna read from here so I remember everything. There's lots of notes. Okay, but we met inside of Inner Earth, and that is where a lot of the Gaia guardian dragons reside, taking care of the planet and supporting Mother Earth, not only during our transitional journey through the collective consciousness shift, but many different lifetimes with Gaia. They help protect the crystalline core, the heart of Mother Gaia. And so we were all standing together inside, and it was like stone walls everywhere. And so I was speaking over everyone, and I was saying that all guides are welcome to come forward, inner children, teens, different timelines, anywhere from out in time and space that would like to be a part of this celebration today of all the work that we have been doing lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And then tons of beings started pouring into this room to be a part of this today. So members of your spirit team, your guardians from different incarnations, you from different incarnations, again, your inner children and teens, just a big old happy family. And I asked everybody to partner up, find a buddy, and to stand in front of one another. And then we were going to take turns. So one partner would put their hands on top of the other person's, and then vice versa. And we all started humming in unison with one another, and it started reverberating off of the walls. And what it was doing was creating a heart coherence sync with said partner, but also with us as the group, as a collective. And the humming was activating our dragon encodements and DNA sequencing. And then I asked everybody to repeat after me, and it was funny because everybody had their hand on somebody else's hand, but everybody put their other hand up, almost like when you're swearing on, I think it's the, I'm not even sure if it's the Bible and like courts and stuff, but it was kind of symbolic like that. And we all said, I embrace that I am a guardian. I am a seeker of the light. I travel to the depths within me. I am a fortitude of truth. And then we all clapped together, and there was this big giant dragon stone in the middle of the circle that we had formed. And when we clapped, it sent sound vibrations out to each one of us, solidifying that in our energy fields. And all of these rooms started appearing, and they had symbols up on top of them, like there was fire and water and ice and earth and celestial and galactic and a lot of other different types. And I was explaining that everybody could choose a room to go into to receive, what did I write here? Guidance, insights, downloads, and upgrades, depending on what element that they wanted to connect to. It was so funny because some of this, like, I'm consciously doing, and other parts of it is just like naturally like happens. And as I was explaining all of the different rooms, I put on like a tour guide outfit that someone would wear like at a museum that's like leading everybody around. And I was going like, you can go to this room or this room. And somebody came up to me, one of the persons in the group, and they said, well, what if we want to go in all the rooms? And I said, oh, you can do that. And I booped them on the head. I went, boop. And they split up into a bunch of different versions of themselves, like just multiples. Okay? And they were like, whoa. And I said, yeah, anybody can do that. And so everybody started coming up to me and asking me to like boop them on their heads so that they could experience the different type of dragon energies. And then after we got done with that portion, I said, how about we all sit down and eat a meal together? And so in the same room with like the stone walls, this big, long, giant table came out. And then we were all sitting together eating this food and drink that wasn't from Earth. It was from Middle Earth, so it was a lot of things that people hadn't seen or consumed before, but delicious, absolutely wonderful, and it was great to have that family meal with one another. And all around us there were these big giant dragons that were sleeping because they were just really enjoying all of our energy. One of the dragons came forward and asked if they could do something, or all of them, if they could do something that was a human experience. And somebody came up to me and asked if we could play a baseball game. And at first I thought that was coming from my own mind because my son plays baseball like in this incarnation. But no, it was somebody else because they showed me the clip from Twilight. And if you haven't seen it, it's fine. But a bunch of vampires play baseball together. And it's really cool because, you know, they have superpowers like super strength and they're really fast. And they're like, we would love to do that with the dragons and play a baseball game. And I was like, let's do it. So it was us, not versus the dragons, but we were playing with them. And all of us had wings on us. There was either wings on our feet like Hermes, the messenger god. Some people had dragon wings coming out of their back. And some people had like dragon wings on their arms, kind of like a velociraptor. And so we played a game together and the dragons just absolutely loved that, and so did we. It was a really fun time. And then I asked if everybody wanted to go to the dragon nursery, like where they raise the baby dragons, and they were like, yes. So we walked over, and it was so funny because it's a very earthly thing, but I was like, everybody needs to put on hand sanitizer before they touch the babies. And so I was like squirting hand sanitizer into everybody's hands, making sure that they like lathered up, there's no germs touching anybody. And somebody picked up one of the dragons, and they had like long hair, and the dragon was just chomping down on her hair. Okay, and I was like, hey, are you okay? She was like, it's fine. And they were like really excited about it. I was like, okay. And then somebody came up to me and said, for some reason, I thought it would be a lot greener here because we were still kind of in the stone space. And I said, oh, this is just one area of Middle Earth, okay, where the dragon stone is. I said, let's go outside. So then we come up to kind of this cliff area, but we're looking down into the luscious green vibrancy of Middle Earth. I wish I could tell you they were like trees and grass, but it's not. It's like intergalactic type of nature. Okay, so we're looking down, and up in the sky there was all of these geometric fractals that were shining almost like rainbow energy light down into the grassy area. And then somebody said, can we go down there? And I said, yes, let's go. So we get down there and everybody's running around having a great time. And I actually met with somebody who I met in a multidimensional chakra scan, like going into somebody's Akashic records like a while ago. And he actually helps train the warrior dragons. He's actually from the dragon dimension, and so he came to speak with me, and he was like, oh, do you want to take everybody to go train with my warrior dragons? And I was like, oh, I bet a lot of them would love that. So I asked the group if they wanted to, and some people wanted to and some people didn't. Some people were like, that's not my vibe. And I said, that's okay. And they went to go like play out in the Middle Earth, a grassy, luscious vibrancy area. And so I took a whole nother group with me. I split into two different beings and went off, but I took a group with me to go train with the warrior dragons. And he showed me the adult dragons and what they were doing, and they were practicing like their fire blasts and their ice blasts. It just like some really intensive training, and I was like, I don't know if everybody is going to be able to handle this. And he said, no. He said, they're going to be training with the babies. And I said, okay. I don't know if you've ever seen where people are training dogs, not to like equate one to the other, but they have those things on their arm and the dog will come up and like bite it. Okay, that's not what was happening here, but it was just the symbology of what we were helping the baby dragons learn how to do. And so everybody put on almost like this armor, because we're going to hold shields up so that the baby dragons could shoot their fire and ice and energy blasts at us. And then the warrior trainer, the gentleman, he put on a storm simulator. And so we were all standing there with the baby dragons, like with all this air that was like pushing at us. It was really intense. And it was like an ice storm. It was great. And then there was a spider obstacle course, like spider web. I'm not exactly sure what that was helping the babies with, I guess with like balancing. Okay, but everybody had a baby dragon with them, and they're not the most graceful when they're that age, right? And they're kind of big. And so the humans like us, we were helping them kind of like navigate through all the webs. It was very cute. Then after we finished up with that, a dragon came to speak with us, and he took us up to the top of a volcano, but not one filled with lava. It just looked kind of like a volcano, and we were all peering over the side, and we couldn't see what was at the bottom. And he said, you just got to jump with faith. And I was like, okay, see y'all, bye. And I jumped in, and then everybody started jumping in after me. And we landed in a bioluminescent forest. Gorgeous. It was dark though, like very dark. And all of a sudden, all of these, they almost look like bearded dragons, but not. Okay, they had, what did I put here? Multi-chrome kind of skin, but they were like giant bearded dragons almost, if you want to like imagine them. And they were running through the forest at us. And then they jumped on our backs, like one on each back. And they kind of like latched onto us on like our neck and our back, and we started syncing up with one another in our energy fields. And then all of a sudden we all became these dragons. And I was actually looking through the eyes while everybody was, and we were all running through the forest together. And then we all stopped at this place, and I looked up, and there was this giant dragon. Like, I cannot even express to you how big this dragon was. And I realized it was the mother of dragons, like of their existence, all dragons. Okay, I was like, oh my gosh, I have never met her before, so I'm so excited. And she turned kind of into this human form, so we could all speak with her more coherently, if you will. And she said that she was so happy to have all of us here today. And then I told her why we were there, to receive, you know, the downloads and insights and activations. And she said, who do you think gave you the idea? Like, for this activation that I set up with everybody. And I was like, oh, thank you for that. I appreciate you. It was very funny. And then she said that she was going to help us with the downloads of our dragon roots. And she said one of the reasons we are receiving it is because we are not afraid. We did not let the trauma and programming that is surrounded around dragons and their energy and like the history of dragons, we did not let that affect us. We walk the path of the light warrior, seeking justice and liberation for all. She said it is an honor to co-collaborate in this experience with us. Not just here, but what we are doing as a collective, but specifically healers like ourselves that are not afraid to dive within those depths of ourselves in that darkness and take those leaps of faith, and not let other people's perceptions of certain things throughout history cloud our own judgment and intuition and discernment. That's what makes us really good leaders and guardians. And then she asked all of us, are you all ready to step into the next phase of your awakening journey? And of course, we're all like, yes. Okay. So then she handed each one of us a piece of the Dragonstone at the beginning of our adventure. And she said it's like a version of the crystalline grid of Mother Gaia's heart space, like the center of the earth. And she said that it's a little bit different though, okay? It's the crystalline grid of the dragons. And so it connects all of them with one another, all dragons, okay? She said that it transcends telepathy though, like they can hear themselves through the stone, but it connects them all energetically, like on a higher etheric plane. She said it's a connection through the heart space. So they're all connected to one another, and now we are also connected to them and them to us. So I actually fashioned a necklace for everybody to wear etherically, okay, like a pendant with a dragon stone in it, and put it over everyone's head. And so you have that now on you in your energy field, and you can always feel free to take it off if you would like as well. You have free will and autonomy over your body, okay? But it will help you with remembrances and activations and guidance and downloads and insights from your different timelines as a dragon, or your guardians that you have, or work that you've done with the dragons throughout history. Also helping you connect into the dragon realms. Okay, Middle Earth is just one. That was our home basis today, but there's lots of different mini portals that you can access, and so it far extends even past what we were doing today. So we want to be on the lookout for an intensification of dragon signs and synchronicities. They may happen today or tomorrow or upcoming in the future, but they are definitely going to start ramping up. And if you want to kickstart this even more, watching cartoons or movies with dragons in them is a great way to do that. Even if they're not exactly perfect representors of dragons or working with them or being them, it's close enough in energy that will help unlock those things in your Akashic records. And all the movies and TV shows and things like that we watch like that are coming from the Akasha field anyway. They're pulled down through our human perceptual lenses and then made into TV shows and movies. So there are truths within them. And two movies that came to mind were How to Train Your Dragons and Raya the Last Dragon. Or Dragon Tales. And that's a cartoon movie for kids, but it's super cute, super funny, highly recommend. I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to take all these different facets of yourself on this adventure today. It was so much fun, filled with joy and just magic and whimsy. And so I hope that you have an absolutely incredible day and receive all the signs and synchronicities of your dragon remembrance activating within.